Hi guys, my name's Adelaide and welcome to Adelaide Colours. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about colouring, and today I thought it'd be really nice to colour a page in Johanna Basford Wonderful Wildflowers. Now this is a book that I did get at Christmas and I have barely coloured in it, which is such a shame because it has such nice illustrations. The only thing I have done is the belongs to page, as you can see, and I did do that in Prismacolor, but I thought no, now is the time. I really would like to try and colour in it at least one page a week because it has such lovely pretty illustrations, and what better time than now to get started. So the page actually I've chosen to colour now is this one. And isn't it just so lovely? It's quite funny. I actually usually avoid colouring pages on the left side of a book because they don't sit as nicely. As you can see, it's got a bigger bounce, but it is such a lovely illustration. I thought, no, I really want to colour this one. So what I have done is I have another Johanna book. This is Magical Worlds. I've put underneath it. So hopefully it will lie a bit flatter. I have put another piece of card underneath the picture too, and that will just make colouring it a bit smoother. Now Johanna's books are a bit wider than, I'm in Australia so I use A4, but it is nearly the same size as US letter. So you just kind of have to make sure your piece of card is in the middle of the page. Since I'm not doing a big background for this page, just because so many of the illustrations in this book, although lovely, have a lot of white space around, and I just don't feel like I want a book where I am going to fill in all that white space for all the pages. I think this is one where I'm just going to focus on having fun with the colouring. So because of that, it's okay if I use this piece of card, and what I will do actually to make it lay even flatter is I will use this clip and I will clip it in. So let's do that. And that should help it lay nice and flat too. So what am I going to use for this chatty colour along? I am going to use my Faber Castell Albrecht pencils. I do have the full set, but I won't be using the whole full set on this page. As I'm sure you guessed. I will put a list in the description below of what colours I'm using, so if you want to use the same colours as me, you can. These are a watercolour pencil, so you could pick another brand and just use similar colours. And I will probably go over the top of my picture with some of the Polychromos, which is the Faber Castell range of non-water-soluble pencils, just their normal colouring pencils. But I do tend to get sore wrists, so I find it a lot easier to use a watercolour pencil underneath. And also I feel like it creates that bit more vibrant colour, which I really enjoy. As well as that, to activate my watercolour pencils, I have my Pentel Aqua brush. This is a fine. I will link that below too. I also have some paper towel just to make it drier when it's too wet, but also just to wipe off any extra pigment when I need to. I will be using a white gel pen, so this is a Jelly Roll 08, and I have got out, just because it's flowers, I tend to like to do pink flowers for some of them, and I just love my Tombow 725. It is such a beautiful vibrant pink. I'll be using it like a watercolour on the palette, so I do have my new Caran d'Ache palette, which has its rough side. I'm not using the Tombow for that. I will be using the Tombow on the lovely smooth side, and probably adding that just to some of the flowers for just that pop of bright hot pink. That's going to be fun. Now you could use a hot pink watercolor, you could use another water-based marker, like I know there's Crayola ones or Hoo. It's really down to you, or you could get a hot pink pencil out of another set like Prisma. So that's up to you, or maybe you're not a fan of hot pink and you just want to use kind of the closest, I think, that Albrecht has. So Albrecht has this light purple pink 128 and also this fuchsia 123, which I think would kind of be in the ballpark of what you're aiming with. I just like it a bit stronger, so I am going to use the Tombow. If you don't have a palette, you can just use any bit of plastic. I mean, I have used just, this is some packing plastic, which usually you throw out, but yeah, it does the job. It's nice and smooth. You can just wipe your Tombow on that and use the water brush to take some off and add it to your picture. So yeah, if you don't have the exact things, that's okay. You can always make do. So I think that is everything that I am going to be using, because it's a chatty colour along. I will be talking about what pencils I use when and showing you as well. So let's get started with some fun colouring. So the first thing I think we'll start with is the door, because I feel like that will set the tone for everything. And I kind of know where I want to go with that. I would like to go for kind of pinky purple browns. I know that sounds weird, but I think it's going to look good. And what we'll do is we'll put down a watercolor base, and then maybe we'll draw some lines using a polychromo over it and make it look more wooden, if that makes sense. Kind of mystical wooden. I mean, it's not like we'd have wood that color, but still it could be fun. So what have I got here? I have got Albrecht Dürer Blue Violet 137. I have Magenta 133. I have Middle Purple Pink 125. I have Fuchsia 123. Light Purple Pink 128 and Light Magenta 119. And I think together they will form a really nice kind of gradient. I mean, I will go in with the darks first, and let's get started. So where Johanna has actually put those wood lines is where I'm going to start with this dark pencil. And it's funny because it doesn't really fit into the gradient I showed you. This is the Blue Violet 137, but I think it's going to be like a shadow color. I think I may be using this kind of everywhere I want a dark shadow. So we will see how it looks. I mean, I love dark purples anyway, especially this bluey purple color. It is just so stunning. And that's a nice thing about using watercolor pencils too. This door, you don't realize, is actually quite a large area. If I was just coloring it in colored pencil, it would take me a while to get up the strength and intensity and the layers, but with watercolor pencil we are shortcutting a bit. Now, as you can see, I am putting some just kind of under the flowers because they wouldn't have light on them either. Maybe under that vine, under the leaves, and under this vine, because that would be all shadowed too. My colouring is not super neat. And in fact, let me have a look at the camera. Should I zoom it in? I think I can. Here we go. How's that? Just have to remember to zoom it out when I focus on another part. Here we are. And under that door handle would have some of it too. Okay, so I think, oh, missed a bit here. That is all my shadowy kind of area. So let's go to the next colour we have, and that is a Magenta 133. And it's going to be interesting to see how this works out because, well, usually you use kind of brown for wooden doors, but I just love the pretty colours, the Albrecht Dürer's range, and I'm never too good at using neutrals. I mean, I will use a brown to draw in the wood after we've, I guess, essentially painted the door. So I'm hoping that will give it enough of the brown effect to look good as a door. And these are so nice to use. I'm not pressing too hard, and even as you can see, it's not a particularly sharp point either. Now I am going over where that purple was, and I'm going a little bit into the light area. I mean, the door will have a few lighter areas, but not excessively. It's kind of behind everything in a way, isn't it? Set into the cute little hill. I mean, what a sweet illustration. So after that, I have a middle purple pink, a 125. So we're going a bit brighter again. And like, if you think about it, when red is part of the color that makes purple, but when you add a lot of red, it definitely gets a browny tinge to it. And I feel like that's what we're going to be doing here with the pink and purple. Look at that color. Okay, so I think that is it for this color. Okay, so let's get our next color in our gradient, and that was Fuchsia, 1, 2, 3. And we're just going over where that purple was, adding more color. Sorry if there was a break before. I did pause it because the garbage truck came. It was really noisy. I didn't think you really wanted all that noise. Though I've also put my microphone on noise reduction. So I'm hoping that'll help too. Especially as we have a rather barking, well, a talkative dog next door. So I'm hoping it'll help so you can't hear him. Okay, and then we've got 2 more colors. So let's do our light pink purple, 1, 2, 8. And it's the same. We're just going over our darker colors. Now, the door is kind of the background of this setting at the moment. So if it does go over an existing element, like the window or the flower, don't worry about it. You know, we'll color over it, we'll gel pen over it. Like where there's a will, there's a way. So we will definitely make do. Here we go. And then we'll have our lightest color, and this is the light magenta 199. It's so pretty, this color, and we're actually going to fill in wherever there are light spaces with it. So by the end, after this gradient, our door really should be fully colored. So we have lots of pigment on our page to activate, which is exciting. Okay, I think that is it. It is fully colored. How pretty. So now we've got our water brush. We're going to make sure that the end is wet by giving it 1 squeeze, seeing that drop of water come down. But then make sure you wipe it on the paper towel and don't squeeze it anymore. We don't want it too wet. And as you can see, this paper towel has been used a lot. I do use them quite a bit. So let's activate it, and we're going to start in a light area, and keep your paper towel close because there may be times where we want to wipe off our pigment. So we might just start in here. Oh, that is a little bit wet. I'm just going to wipe off some of the water. Too wet. Now the wetter you have it, the lighter your the color will be that comes out, because you're adding more water to the pigment. So really, I don't like it that wet at all. That's why I have the paper towel. So I just keep trying to wipe it off. And the other thing to think about is kind of where your edge is. So if I did a harsh edge and left it like there, you would see it. That's the one thing about watercolor pencil. When it dries, it's pretty permanent. So if you do leave an edge, try and make it organic or get to it quickly and use your water brush to soften it and blend it in to what's there. So as you see, I have left kind of an organic edge there. I will come back to. If that dries, that's okay. I'm not too worried because there we go. And I have the fine Pentel Aquabrush pen at the moment. I just find it good for getting in to all those little crevices, like around the leaves. If I had the medium or the thick one, I think it would just be too much. How pretty are these colours? I really like them. And Johanna's paper, I think really it's the best colouring book paper. It really seems to take mediums so well, different mediums, especially if you're using any water. Some of them, like the Amazon paper, especially, even some of Kirby's paper, I find kind of tend to crinkle. Well, that doesn't. It's just really nice to colour on and use. Okay, so look at our door. Looks like a little fairy door. Though I guess it could be a pixie or a gnome. In its hill. So that's all the top done. Now I'm going to go down and I'll probably start in this lightest bit here since I don't really want to move the dark pigment into it. And move around it with the darker pigment, blending it out. So kind of wherever you push the pigment to will be the darkest point. And you see, I had a sharp line there before, but I've just moved the pigment over it, and that has pretty much blended it out. Looks quite pretty and watercolory, actually. And I am trying to go around my leaves. Occasionally I do touch them, but that's okay. I mean, the combination of watercolor pencil, colored pencil, and then gel pen, it's going to cover it. It might come in. And we're nearly finished our door. And how quick was that? I mean, that is the other thing about using watercolor pencil. There we go. So that is kind of our first layer, so to speak. So I'm going to let that dry and maybe we'll do some of the mushrooms because that could be quite pretty. Or, oh no, actually, why don't we do the hill? We'll do the hill round it. So what colors we're going to use for that? I think, I mean, really, when you look at your pencils, it's just about making a nice gradient. So maybe we'll see how that looks. Because I'm going to want to go from darker to lighter as I go up the hill. The starlight, I mean, it's all around, but I guess it's going to be more present up the top, isn't it? And I think that'll look quite pretty. I mean, I always, maybe I will add an even darker one. So I've got deep cobalt green, that's 153. I have permanent green olive, 167. May green, 170. Light green 171 and cream 102. And I'm just going to check the camera and check that you can see the hill or if I need to zoom out. Hi guys, I'm so sorry. I did pause the camera to see if you could hear the dog next door barking, and then when I thought I pressed it again, but apparently it didn't go on, which was a shame when I did the hill. So let me just quickly talk you through that. That was pretty much the same as the door. I used Deep Cobalt Green 158. I then used Green Olive 167, going over the darker and that. And then I used, here we go, May Green 170 and Light Green 171 and Cream 102, and they formed a lovely gradient. Now I did use the May Green up here and here, and tried to do the same here and here and create these light spaces, which then I went in, filled in a little bit with the light green and then filled in completely with the cream. And when I activated it, I did start in the light bits and push it out. So yes, I'm sorry about that. I was sitting here coloring and chatting, and then at the end of the hill I thought, well, I'll see how it looks with the camera, and then I looked and it wasn't filming. So yeah, really sorry about that. It was quite funny in a way. I was sitting here chatting to no one. But anyway, so now I've done the base layer on the hill. Let's start the door. So to do that, I have a ruler and I have a Polychromos. Now this is Polychromos Burnt Umber. And what we're going to do is we're going to rule over the door the wooden lines that I want. Now, I'm sorry, I couldn't find my clear ruler, so I have to use this lovely, look at all the different woods. Isn't it cool? It's my husband's instead. If you have a clear ruler, it's easier to see that they are, kind of, you're getting the same length. But look, that's okay. It doesn't matter if you're a bit out. I'm not going to measure or anything. I am just going to draw them in roughly wherever the door appears, and yeah, we'll go for a nice wide door plank width. And you may have to push a bit hard with your Polychromos to get those firm lines. And look, if you can see, if you feel like, oh no, I missed a bit, just draw it in. If you feel like, oh, it doesn't match up exactly, it's not going to matter. It's just more kind of almost atmospheric, I think, the look and the feel of a wooden door. I mean, because it would be wooden, wouldn't it, if you have this beautiful little hill covered in flowers, surrounded by mushrooms in the forest. So yes, so mine aren't exact, they're approximate, but I think that does add to kind of that rustic charm. Here we go. So I think, will I put an extra one in there? No, I don't think it needs it. Okay, so that is our door. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go in with, so Albrecht Dürer now, and this is Burnt Umber 280 in the Albert in the watercolor pencil. That's the word I'm looking for. So I am just going to use that to kind of create a more wooden look with the shading. Go. So as you can see, I am going to activate this. I'm not going to do it dry yet, but yes, it's just adding to that shadow and darkening it, how the door looks, and also giving the door a more wooden look. So I'm going to go around the edge. I'm going to go wherever Johanna has done those lines. And that's a really great thing about Johanna's paper. It can take multiple layers of water-soluble mediums. I mean, maybe not if you're using lots of wet watercolor, but watercolor pencil and your little water brush, no problem. If you don't have a water brush, just make sure you have a brush that's more for acrylics rather than watercolor. You definitely want it to have synthetic fibers so it doesn't hold that much water. Or not be one of those watercolor brushes, the new ones they make, which are meant to be like the natural fibers. But yes, definitely would hold too much water. I think Winsor and Newton make them. They call them like the Princeton range and things like that. Neptune and yes. So oh no, you don't want any of that. So I'm also going to put a little bit just under the flowers because I feel it needs it. And the great thing about this is when we activate it with the water, because we put those lines in with the polychromos, they will stay and we won't have that wooden look. Now I'm also going to go back to my Polychromos pencil and maybe just add like some lines and some wooden knots just to, you know, that line with a circle, just to kind of give a bit of texture to the wood. Okay, and let's activate it and see how it looks. So I'll probably do it plank by plank. Start over here and just push it to the edge. That, and I think that brown looks so good with those pinky purples, and you can still see those really solid lines underneath. Because I'm doing it plank by plank, I am stopping spreading the pigment to those lines, so that's further emphasizing them and giving them that more rustic wooden look. And I'm just going to keep doing that through the whole door. So what I was chatting about before, when the camera wasn't on, which is quite helpful, and I was talking about how I'm doing the hill, I was actually explaining why I hadn't had videos out for a while. And I had that break. So I'm in Australia and it was school holidays here. So I have an 8, a 7 and a 5-year-old. And so they were all on school holidays, which was lovely. And so it is much, much, much harder to film when they're home. I mean, they're not interested in mum sitting there colouring and being quiet, are they? Especially because I like to do more chatty colour alongs. My brush is getting a bit dry, so I'm just going to push it to wet it. Because I didn't do it before I started because it's already a bit damp. So yeah, I can feel the wetness. So that is one reason. The other reason was I managed to sprain my ankle just before school holidays started. So that's been quite a trial. I don't think I've ever sprained my ankle that bad before. And yeah, it's really lasted. I haven't been able to walk for a bit, and I actually went back to hospital last week because I'm at 4 weeks now and said, look, it's so bad I can't walk. Can we like triple check it's not a fracture? And they did the x-rays and definitely not a fracture, so they were right. But it is a bad sprain. So I was very lucky. They've put me in like this super duper active moon boot. I have not seen the likes of it before. So many Velcro straps and very high. But oh my gosh, it's made a big difference. It's meant I can walk and not be in anywhere near as much pain by the end of the day. So that has been great. So I'm hoping now the kids, they went back to school yesterday, and now yeah, I'm not in much pain and I can move around. I thought, oh great, I can get back to what I was doing before, and you know, when I have time, film my colouring because it's really fun and I enjoy it. Okay, that's our door. I love it. I think it's looking so good. So why don't we do the band around the door, and why don't we use, so we're going to use some of our brown, which is the Burnt Umber 280. We're going to go back to that maroon colour, so Magenta 133, and maybe we'll add some cream to it. So that's 102. So obviously not like a normal gradient. They're not really close like, say, these greens that we use for the hill. But because of the nature of the watercolour pencils, and we'll mix them with the water brush, they're really I think, going to look good. So with the darkest color, the Burnt Umber 280, I am going to do the closest area of the door, kind of the inside, because that would be the darkest, and just put little bits of it round. The bottom would be quite dark. So I'm going to put that here, and I'm not worried about having super neat coloring because we're going to water activate it. And that's something I really do like about the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. They really activate well and don't leave pencil strokes. When some of my other watercolor pencils, I have the Derwent watercolor as well, they do leave strokes, which is a shame because Derwent has such a nice color range. I want to love them, and look, I will probably get them out and still color with them. But if I was doing something big like the door, I guess it wouldn't matter that much because it would add to the wood texture, but I'd have to be prepared for the fact that, yes, it wouldn't dissolve all the strokes. So maybe that's kind of what sets watercolor pencils apart. I also have the Caran d'Ache Super Soft, and they are very lovely, like the Albrecht Dürers, and they don't seem to leave strokes. They do have a high pigment load as well. I think, though, I do prefer the Albrecht Dürers just slightly because they have this lovely, thick, comfy barrel, while the Caran d'Ache, do I call them Super Soft? Sorry, Super Color Soft. Super Color Soft have a thin barrel. So yeah, I mean, they're just not as comfortable or nice to use. There's something about a pencil with a nice thick barrel. And I think that about the Derwent pencils, most of them in comparison to the Chroma Flows. So the Chroma Flows have that thin barrel, and I don't know, I don't find them as nice to use because of it. So as you can see, I've added the magenta all the way around, and now we're going to add the cream. And we're just going to put the cream in the light part. So that should be where the light is hitting the edge of that door frame. I mean, I guess we're assuming it's kind of flush with the hill, isn't it? Not sunken in. But you know what? It's our imagining. We can do that. I guess this is a bit like a door stop, and they would be doormats. Aren't they cute and gorgeous? Okay, so now we've put that in, let's activate it. We're going to start from the light area again. And I might have to wipe off pigment quite a bit here, but that's okay, because I definitely don't want to put any of that dark in the light. I want to keep that lightness. There we go, that's that bit. So I am wiping off most of the pigment every time I push it to the inside of the door, but it does leave kind of this little kind of tint of colour, and it tints the colour of the cream, and I think it looks really good. So it's not white, but it's definitely lighter, and you can see that light hitting it. Okay, my brush is getting a bit dry, so I'm just going to do one squeeze again and make sure it doesn't get too wet. Maybe I still need it a bit wetter. Checking it's got water in it. There we go, let's try that. Oh yeah, that's super wet now. That's the way. That's why it's good to have the paper towel. So that's okay. It's come out a bit uneven because it pumped out so much water, but that's all right because we can just go over it if that happens. And you can see actually it's a much lighter colour when it lets out more water compared to here when we pushed it along. Okay, now this will be a bit harder because I'm kind of at the wrong direction and I don't want to turn the book to the camera. So just keep trying to push it inwards. If you're doing this at home, then yeah, turn the book. Just make it as easy for you as possible, because coloring's meant to be fun and you're meant to enjoy it and not struggle with pushing pigment. And there we go. So that is all activated. I am going to have to go over and darken that up when it's dry, just because, yeah, I added too much water and it came out too light. But that's okay. That is an easy fix. So while we're here, why don't we do our little window? So that glass, I want it like a light's coming out. So I am going to put some cream, like someone's there, just in the middle, and we will spread that out. Well, it's already a bit tinted, so it's not going to matter so much, but I am going to do the outer sill in the wood, and then where we went over it, it's not going to matter so much. Go. And because it's such a thin spot, I was just using that Burnt Umber 280. And we're just going to spread it around and go from a light point and spread it back to the dark points. There we go. That looks good, doesn't it? Okay, maybe. Ooh. Okay, I am going to think about the door handle and the insert in a window. I am thinking maybe of doing kind of like a old Goldie world look. I'm just going to activate that cream while I'm here. But I'm not 100%. So we're going to do a bit more of the pretty foliage, start that. Or maybe we'll do our mushrooms next. That'll be nice. Sorry, just checking the camera that it was all still in place. So let's do some of our mushrooms. We're going to use that lovely warm gradient we started with. So we're going to have the magenta 133, the purple pink 125. We've got the fuchsia 123, the light purple pink 128, and the light magenta 119. And this is actually where I may end up afterwards adding a bit of Tombow, but we'll see how this goes first. So I'm going to get the darkest color, the magenta 133. I'm just going to add this to where the mushroom would be dark. So under that mushroom, at the bottom here, have a light bit in there, under that flower. And the same for this one. All right, also got more mushrooms over here. And we've got a different mushroom here. Maybe I'll do that one in browny yellowy cream so it kind of contrasts. So the next color in the gradient is the purpley pink. And we'll just go over the color from the other one, expanding it out a little more. And then fuchsia 123. And then we have light purple pink 128. And look, the mushrooms are so small. I've probably got way too many colors for this gradient, and you could do it with only 3 or 4, but I've got them here. I enjoy this process of building up color, so we're going to go with it. And then light magenta 119. Okay, and then at the top, we're going to get our cream 102. Just pop that in. And you can already see, because we're using similar colors that we use in the door for the mushrooms, it's really bringing our picture together and making it more cohesive. I love that when you repeat palettes. So we're going to start from the light cream and then work it down. Look at that. And because we worked it that way, you can see it's darkest at that edge, but that's good. That's what we want. Makes it look more three-dimensional. There we go. So that's those two done. I've got these little really cute ones. Johanna really does draw lovely mushrooms. They're adorable. So look, this really is so relaxing and pretty easy. It's just about starting with the lights and working to the darks. I think that's kind of the main law of watercolor pencils. Okay, so we've got them. Let's do their stalks. So I'm just going to pick one of the pinks. So this is the mid purple pink, 125, and I'm just going to do that little bit underneath each of them. I mean, the stalks are so fine, you don't want too much. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the dark and do it the opposite to what I usually do and pull the color down. There we go. I think that looks really good. Okay, so now, there's so much choice. I'm not sure where to go next because I want to color everything. All right, maybe we will start with the leaves, the little kind of doormat, because that is just so gorgeous. And so I'm going to start with that with the green, the deep cobalt green. Oh, sorry, wrong pencil. I think I kind of want a more minty hue for that. So what have we got? Dark phthalo green. Deep cobalt green 158 is the dark phthalo green 264, and then light phthalo green 162. And I think maybe we'll go to the pink, kind of tie it back in, and that is light magenta 119. So we'll start and we're going to put the dark bit in the center. And just wherever kind of they overlap, we're going to put that dark, because that'd be kind of where the darkest part of the leaf would be, that shadow. I went over there, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got our dark, and next we're going to use the dark phthalo 264. And we're going to go over the dark and then also extend it out. So pretty, these colors. I love greens. I mean, tell by my jumper. Green's my favorite color. I wear a lot of it, and I really do enjoy coloring with it, which is a nice thing about Johanna's books, isn't it? Because they have so much foliage and leaves, and you really can get your fill of coloring green with them. Okay, light phthalo green 162. So this I'm putting almost to the edge. Just checking. I'll move it up a little bit in the camera. And then the edge we're going to do with this pink. So I am going to leave just like a little gap between the green and the pink. I think that'll help it blend. I mean, it's not your usual transition, is it? Here we go. All right. So we're actually going to start from that white bit. To be careful not to go over that. It's okay if you go over, just scoop it up with your brush. There we go. I mean, I'm going to be going over it anyway. Here we go. And now we've activated all the green. I'm going to activate the pink. And because we've got that green tinge on the brush, it kind of blends it in better. See, like that. So we'll start with the green. And I'm actually using the lines that Johanna has put in, so I know where to push my pigment to, and it won't look strange. Now I'll put the pink in. And here we are. So I have to say, I think there's nothing more relaxing than activating water-soluble mediums, because like you've already done the hard work, you've decided where it's going to go, and you've put it down, and then you've just got your little water brush. It's so good they're full of water. So after this, we will go and darken that up. So I'm not too worried if I get green on it. I did think about doing this book just colored pencil, but then, I love water mediums too much, I think, and I didn't want to get a sore hand either, because, you know, you want to be able to color when you have time, not thinking, oh, I don't want to hurt my hand. Got that on. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway, that's okay. We'll just put a bit of the light pink over it at the end. There we go. So that's all that. I'm going to go in and darken that step down. So I've got my Burnt Umber back, and that is 280. And we'll just activate it. Yeah, it looks good. Well, that's great. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so something else I will do, just while it's not quite dry, is I will go in with my Albrecht and just essentially trace the lines that Johanna's put in. And I just feel like it gives it that extra depth. Because, I mean, look at that compared to that. I really like it. Even if it comes off a little bit, I feel like it adds texture to the leaf. I guess I could have waited and done it with the Polychromos, but oh well. I mean, a lot of people don't even have polychromos. They just use the Albert Durers wet and dry for everything, and the Albert Durers are that bit softer. Okay, that's fun. Okay, that's pretty much dry, so I am going to go in and just add a bit of the pink to whatever I feel it went a bit green. So the light pink was light magenta 119. Here we go. Okay. All right. Well, maybe we'll start on some of these super pretty leaves. And I have here, I'm going to the ivy first. Well, they look like ivy leaves to me. And this is dark phthalo green 254 and light phthalo green 162. And just use the dark one for kind of those center of the leaves and where they overlap. You can see my page bouncing a bit. Need to flatten that spine. The little leaves, I'm just doing the tiniest bit. So I think, oh, here we go. We've got some more of them. I mean, they look the same shape, so I'm going to take them as the same leaf. And also for ease, you don't want to spend forever colouring your picture, just long enough to enjoy it. So this is light phthalo 162, and I'm not going to the edge. I am going to leave that white. I think I will have the leaves have white tips, and then maybe I'll even outline just the edges of the leaves with white gel pen. Because a lot of ivy has that white look to it, doesn't it? With that variegation. That's what makes it so pretty. And actually, I've just seen in the hill I haven't covered. Whoops. So I'll be getting my May green out to fill that in. There we go. And while we're here, May green 170. There we go. And that's May green. And then let's activate our leaves. So going from the light to the dark. Okay, I'm just going to wet my water brush again. I guess we don't have a lot of ivy here. I'm in Australia. I live in the Blue Mountains actually. So when you go up the mountains, because I kind of live more low to mid. I mean, let's be realistic here. Australian mountains are pretty flat compared to the rest of the world. I mean, even though I live in the mountains, I'm only at about, I don't know, 350 meters above sea level, so not high at all. But if you do go to the upper mountains, and you're kind of from that 700 meter up above sea level, and that's kind of where the towns, I guess, where you may have heard of Katoomba and the Three Sisters and like all them are up. And as you keep going up, there is Meadowlow Bath and Mount Victoria, and then you can go out to Mount Wilson. Well, when the road's not closed, you can. So yeah, It's you see their beautiful cold climate gardens there, and lots of them have the ivy over the walls, and it is just stunning. So once again with that, I am going to go over that dark line in the middle. Okay. So I'm going to use a similar sort of colours for these leaves as well, because I am going to have the leaves be different combinations. But you know, if you want to repeat some in the same picture and they're a good distance away, it's still, yeah, I think it still looks good. So that's Blue Violet 137, and I'm just going in to use that for the shadow. And I feel like these leaves would be darker because they're down towards the ground. And then we have Deep Cobalt Green 158, and I'm just going to go over the purple with that. And then we have Dark Phthalo Green 254. And finally, Light Phthalo Green 162. Go, and now we're going to activate them from the light. Actually, no, I'm going to add, I like Cream 102. Just to those tips, give them colour, because I want them lighter, but I still want them to have some colour. There we go. And then activate them. So my youngest just started school this year. He's 5, and he's really finding it an adjustment, which, you know, I get. It's a big thing. It was a big thing for me too. Him not, you know, being here at preschool, being at big school. Wow. Anyway, he was yawning and very snuggly, and you know, very, very cute this morning. And yeah, he was wrapped up in his blanket on the sofa, and I'm like, oh, do you want to stay home with me and not go to school? And he was so cute. He said, oh no, Mum, I have to go to school. It's my sister has an assembly today that she well, her whole class is singing in. And I just thought that was so nice that he that's his reason for going to school today, to see his sister and her class do singing, which, yeah, I just thought that was very, very sweet. And it's nice. I think he feels that he's really grown up because he's doing what his big brother and sister do, and that's what you want, isn't it? So no, I am pleased with how it's going, but it's an adjustment. And usually, actually, I know last term it'll be interesting to see if it's different this term, because last term was term 1, his first term. By the time we got to Friday, he was absolutely exhausted, just so exhausted. Some Fridays he had off because he seemed sick, like he had all symptoms, sometimes even fevers. And I think, well, I did wonder if it was just exhaustion because he wasn't used to the 5 days a week. But oh, maybe it takes some time for some rather than others. I feel like my older kids were straight in it. You couldn't drag them away from school, but no, look, he's adjusting, isn't he? And he did want to go today, which is fantastic. So even if it's to watch his sister and her singing, so I'll be interested to see when they come home this afternoon what he says about it, if he mentions it, because it's really funny, isn't it, what kids tell you about school compared to what actually happens. I mean, often you go to the parent-teacher interviews, or even just when you catch the teacher, you know, before school, like, oh, did they tell you they did this, this, and this? And it's like, oh, well, no. But I did get told in detail about usually some game they were playing in the playground or something, you know, which is nice and I'm glad they're doing, but I wasn't that worried about it. When really you want to know what's going in the classroom and what are they working on. And yeah. Oh, it's funny what they think it's important. Okay, so I just used the same combination for these leaves up here because I felt they looked the same. And it's funny, those leaves look different, don't they? So I might do them a bit lighter. So no, it has been a big adjustment, them going to school. I have been doing more uni. So I'm actually studying my Masters of Primary School Teaching, which will be fun. It's funny, I never thought about being a teacher before I had kids, like especially primary school. But I guess having kids changes you because I was thinking about, well, what can I go and do before I had kids. I actually worked in textiles, particularly hand textiles and hand knitting, which was great. But I did work in the city, and it was like an hour and a half train for me, plus a bit of driving, and just wasn't doable with kids. So yeah, I was thinking, well, what should I do? And so I thought, no, you know what, I'll go back to uni and I'll do my Masters of Primary School Teaching. So I have been working on units. I'm going to interrupt myself for a new leaf combination. So I'm going to use, actually, we'll start with our dark one. So deep cobalt green 158, permanent green olive 167, and leaf green 112, and light green 171. And I am going to start that down here for these leaves and start with the darkest. So my deep cobalt green 158 and work through it. Anyway, yes, so what was I talking about? I was talking about, yes, teaching. So, yes, I was thinking about what I could do, and I want something that will, you know, obviously I'm passionate about and I'm interested in. And with the kids, I think they really changed me because I'm really interested in how they learn and what they learn. And yeah, it's just so exciting. So I thought, oh, I'll go do primary school teaching. And it's good too because the holidays will match up with the kids, which will make things a lot easier. So yeah, it's nice. So now my youngest has gone back to school. I picked up more units, and I'm about halfway through my degree. So I will probably have about a year until I'll be going off to do my pracs and then, you know, doing teaching. And I'm lucky because where I live, the Blue Mountains, there are a lot of schools, so many schools. It's a real family area. So I feel like there is a possibility I could be working very close to home, which would be nice, especially after I used to do such long commutes. To that combination, I've just added cream 102. So I did have to put in a few assignments over the school holidays, unfortunately, which that was challenging, not only with the kids, but also my ankle because I was in a bit of pain and I really just wasn't thinking clearly. But you know what? I got them in. I'm really proud of that. So you know, I think I did okay. We'll see how they go. I'm not too worried. I thought, you know what, it'll be what it will be. I did my best. I got something in, and I did actually move them back because of my ankle. So I was very lucky to get an extension. So I'm grateful for that. And I do have some more uni assignments coming up because I'm in the middle of the first trimester. Because the uni I go to, that's how they do it. They have 3 trimesters. I mean, I do my degree, except for the pracs, it will be completely online, which is really good too. I mean, that let me do a whole lot of units when I still had the kids at home. But yeah, I'm just, oh, you know, I think also doing more uni stuff and being at my desk really made me think about starting a coloring channel, because I thought, oh, I'm doing this in my downtime. It's a really good way to relax. How about I have a channel? And I already have my other channel, Adelaide Stitches, because I really got into cross stitching around 2022 and really enjoy that. There's something I feel like that amplifies the hobby by sharing it with people. Yeah, I don't know. I've just found that. So I am using the same combination. I'm going to do some leaves here, and then maybe I'll go up here and do the combination, but without the dark green. But we will see. Actually, those leaves look the same as these leaves, don't they? It's funny how you mix and match. Okay, and now we have Permanent Green Olive 167. So yes, I really enjoy my cross stitch channel and sharing my hobby, and I've met so many amazing people. There's something so nice about meeting people who share the same hobby as you, and I am very lucky with coloring. I mean, my mum colors, my brother colors, my kids color. This one's Leaf Green 112. Oh, one sec. Okay, I am back. Sorry, my husband rings in the middle of the day when he's on his lunch break, which is nice. So I was just doing these leaves in the same combination because I felt like they looked similar, and looks like I'd used these. So this is Leaf Green 112. I think I've used that here, but I do need to add some of it. Yeah, here. And did I use it there? Oh, we'll add a bit more. It's a beautiful color. It's one of my favorites. And then we also have the light green, which is 171. Activate it from the light to dark. I know, it's nice my husband rings. I don't know, to check I'm not doing something too exciting. No, it is nice. Nice to have a chat, isn't it? In the day, he's been just lovely with my ankle and the way it's been. He's been going into work a little bit late and dropping the kids in the morning, which has been such a help. So that has been really good for my ankle. I'm hoping by next week it'll be better, so I'll be more back to a normal routine. But you know, it takes as long as it takes, doesn't it? How good do they look? I love them. I love when you have like two different colorways close together. Leaves, they look really good. So I think I said I was going to do permanent olive green, leaf green, and the light green for these leaves up here. I mean, they're on the top, so they would, I guess, in a way be the lightest, wouldn't they? So I'm not going to use that dark green as a base. And then maybe we'll tackle that hill again. Hopefully, I'll double check the camera's on. Yes, sorry. I just shook it as I was checking. After the last time with the hill, I don't want it to be a cursed hill. I want it to be a lovely hill. Okay, so on to the next one. Leaf green, 112. So you have to let me know, are these the kind of colorings you like, or where there's chatting? I do tend to like them because even if I'm not coloring the same picture, I don't know, I just like coloring with someone and listening to them. So I guess that's, yes, part of the reason why I started the channel. I enjoy that. But I don't find that many people do that, which I completely get. I mean, in the school holidays, I thought about that. I thought, oh, it's a lot easier if you just got the camera on and then you do like a talk over, or you speed it up, or do a silent kind of color along, because then you can do it when other people are around. But anyway, we each like what we like, don't we? I'm loving all this foliage. I'm excited. I mean, I'm probably going to say this about every book I colour, but I feel like I should be thinking about colouring this whole book. How cool would that be? Now, I think because I'm not going to do big backgrounds, but this still has the stars, so I'll just do a bit of watercolour and like, I don't know, spread it out, do a gradient into the background colour of the page. So, you know, it has a bit of contrast surrounding it, but I'm not going to be colouring the whole of the back page, especially because Johanna's books are so big. I wondered about that actually. Like, she's always kept the square format. She's never gone to a rectangle format, which I do find in the books that are more rectangular, the images do seem to go more to the edge of the page. Well, that's just something I've noticed with other books and other designers. But each to their own, I guess, with what they like. Okay, I feel like that leaf, I should have done the same as that because that's looking quite similar. So I'm going to go back to that combination, which was the deep cobalt green 158 first. Actually, I lie. You know what was first? The dark purple. So it won't matter like what order you colour it in. It's more the area you colour it in. Blue violet 137. Just put that in for the shadow. And then we'll go to the dark phthalo green 264. And the light phthalo green 162, which really, maybe I should sharpen, but then that's the thing of watercolour pencils. They last so long because they don't need to be super sharp most of the time, do they? Cream 102. Okay, we'll activate that. Oh, my brush is getting really dry again. See how it gets like a little bit streaky? You have to work a bit harder to get it to blend in. Okay, so it's really coming to life, isn't it? So I think maybe we'll just finish all the leaves and then we'll go to the flowers. Now, a lot of the leaves left are quite small, so I think I will keep them like these lighter colors. So this is the leaf green 112, aptly named for leaves. Put a bit of that just in the base. I won't even put another color, I'll just spread it out so it goes from dark to light. These are the leaves. Actually, I need to do the vines, don't I, on the doors? Ooh. Okay, I'm thinking of changing that. I'm thinking of going to a permanent green olive 167 because they, where they're holding the key, look a little bit like the vines here. And just parts of the vine I'm going to do with this color and then spread it out so it's like dark and light, and the light hits it in places. And I'm going to color in, I guess, wherever I've got some of the door on it. So that will definitely be a dark. And then the light will be the bit I managed to keep pristine. There we go. Okay, so that was for the stems, the permanent green olive 167. And then for the leaves, I'll go back to the leaf green 112. Is that a bit? Okay, I think that'll look quite nice. That's all that there. We've got more kind of viney leaves here. And up here. It's funny, you think you've got them and then you see more. They're a bit bigger, those ones. So I might get that permanent olive green again and just darken the centers of them. And that really small one, I might get the light green 171. Keep doing that light green. Oh. Okay, that's a lot of the little leaves, isn't it? They're big, that's part of that stem. Probably do more colors for them. Got little leaves down here, but actually maybe I'll activate these leaves and then we'll do the ground. I should remember to drink my drink I made. Lovely chai. Okay, so let's activate the leaves. We're going to start from the light and go to the dark. And isn't that amazing? You just put a little bit of pencil down, add some water, and how good does that look? So smooth, so blended. And I think this water brush might be getting towards the end of its life. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just not a sharp point like it was in the beginning, which was so nice. Anyway, that it's a sign of use, which is good. It's good to use your colouring supplies. Otherwise, they just sit there. Okay. All right, I think that's all the little leaves. All right, why don't we do some ground? For the ground, I am going to use Burnt Umber 280 and Permanent Green Olive 167. Yeah, I think they'll look nice. So I guess it's not going to be a grassy green, but I'm already doing the hill, a grassy green, and I don't want to do too much. So at the moment, I'm just going to go in and basically where Johanna's put those dots very helpfully, I think to show you that it's the ground, not grass. I'm just going to colour in between those leaves. Oh, still got to do that mushroom too. It's amazing. The more you colour Johanna's work, the more details you see. Like, I guess that's what's so enjoyable about her books. You don't realise how much there is to an illustration until you're actually colouring it. And then she also has those like finders, doesn't she, in them? So this one has the floral finder at the back, which I never actually think about doing. You have to let me know if you do. I guess I'm just too busy thinking about the colouring. I think that's good. Maybe we'll just put a few bits in there. Okay, so now we're going to put the permanent green olive and we're just going to put it over where the brown was and a little bit out because I'm not doing a full background, so I don't want it to go all the way to the bottom of the page. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I do feel then you'd need to like draw in maybe some uneven ground and give some moss and just give it some more interest. When what we're going to do is we're going to use where we've put the pencil compared to where we haven't put the pencil to create that interest for us. Just that little bit. Now, when I activate this, that would be another good time, I think, to turn your book so you're pushing the pigment away from you. But anyway, I'll do my best with, yeah, the way the way it is, because I just feel it'd get a bit confusing if I kept turning the book for you at home who are watching it. And when I do this background, I'm doing it within the piece of card I have behind the book. That's something to remember with Johanna's books. They're just bigger than the page, well, the card or the printer paper or whatever it is that you buy and put behind your colouring. And so you don't want to colour over that edge because then you get the sharp line because it's like a rubbing. So I'm not worried because I'm not going that far out, but if I was going to the edge of the page, I'd have to think about that. Okay, I think that's it. So let's see how that looks. We'll start up here. I'll have to wet my brush because it's dried off. Is it coming out? I really have to squeeze this one at the moment. Maybe I need to change water brushes. Nope, got water out, good. I guess because water's clear, it's hard to tell, isn't it? There we go. Hello, mister. I've just had my dog, Bertie, come up to me. Do you want to go out? He's giving me the look. Yes, Bertie's a Tibetan Spaniel. He's very cute. And luckily, generally, he's not super barky, which is nice. Because the dog next door is a Labrador puppy who's just found his voice. I think that's why he was so vocal before. And I'm just so glad Bertie doesn't join in and encourage him. You know, one dog barking's enough, isn't it? No, he's gone off again. He thought about it. Luckily, he's the most easygoing dog I have ever had. He's amazing. He even, like all other dogs I've had, like to get up early and yeah, I want to go out and do things. He's just happy to lay in bed till 8. Any earlier than that, he thinks it's too early. Which I go, that's great. That works for us with, you know, getting the kids ready and to school and everything. Good on weekends. I mean, it's funny, we're not a family really who even sleeps in. I mean, I have one son that loves to get up at 5 all the time. But no, he really values his sleep. But he's so easygoing, which is what you want with little kids. Isn't it? I mean, he's between my daughter and my youngest son. So he is 6 now, so I guess he is getting older. But yeah, his whole life he's just fitted in perfectly and put up with so much from them. Because you know, little kids, they don't have time out. They don't think, oh, I'll leave you alone now to rest. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's why he sleeps in. He thinks he's got to take any opportunity he can to rest. So I've just been starting from the light and pushing that pigment to the dark. And actually, I didn't do it in the leaves, so I just have to add bits here and there. But that's okay. Because it's not like a full background, I don't mind. I think it looks quite good uneven, so I'm not worried about that. And it's so nice to colour a page in this book. I feel excited about that. Because that's the problem, we accumulate colouring books. I just gotta remember to colour them. Okay, so that is the ground done. And maybe I will go over my hill now. I think it needs some more love. So we're going to use that permanent green olive 167, and I'm actually just going to do another layer on the hill. I won't put that dark one on again that I used before, the deep cobalt green. I definitely feel the hill could be more green. And I feel this will tie it in more too with the ground. I will try and leave that lighter spot put in before. Oh, I got the edge of that flower. That's a shame, but I'll probably end up gel penning the edge of the flower, so it's not going to matter. Okay. I feel like I have been a bit slow with this page today, but I have enjoyed it. That's the important thing, isn't it? Here we go. Oh, I love that. I think that really added to it. Okay. All right, we'll finish off some leaves and then we'll get to the flowers. How exciting. Okay, so I have all these little leaves down here. I'm going to get my light green 171. And fill them in. I thought about using red for the leaves, but because I feel like the door and the mushrooms are such a focal point, and I think now I will go for the goldy looking window frame, door handle and key, because I think that'll all tie in too. Okay, that's all those little leaves. Let's quickly activate them. Though, you know what, if you didn't activate them, they still look good. Okay, we've got these ones over here. Okay, so now we'll do the big leaves underneath the doormat, and we're going to go for permanent green olive 167. just for our darker colour. And light green 171. And I feel like, I know we're using the same combination a lot, but I think that does make the picture look more cohesive. I mean, we already have our cool colorway of certain leaves. We have a warm colorway of certain leaves. Usually I'm tempted to do a reddy one, but I really like the focus being on the mushrooms in the door, so we'll leave that. Okay, maybe we'll do that mushroom while we're here, and we can add a little bit of yellow. Maybe a bit of pink. Okay, so we've got this light magenta, 119. It's going to go in the edges, so it's got that little bit of pink, but it won't be as dark as the others. And then I think we'll do light yellow glaze, 104. And some of our flowers are going to be yellow as well, so this will be used again. In fact, maybe we'll add it to the center of the windows as well. A bit more light coming through, and then we'll use our cream. And I am going to keep actually some white there. And then I am going to use the pink to go underneath again. And actually that one needs, those two need a little bit of darkening. So then we activate it. I think I need it wetter. There we go, it's a bit better. There we go. We're happy with that. Really looks like the light's hitting it, doesn't it? Because it's in front of the house. That is good. All right, let's do our gold. So we're going to use brown, kind of dark cadmium yellow, light yellow glaze, cream. So we'll start with the brown first. So the brown will be, that's not the right one, Burnt Umber 280. And we're just going to put it, or I guess the dark parts would be. We'll do the lock the same as well. Okay. And the key. And we'll do the windowsill as well. There are those corners, particularly where it's hard to get light. Okay. And then we're going to use kind of a deep yellow. This is dark cadmium yellow 108. This is very strong. So just a tiny bit. And you're just kind of going over where the brown is and extending it slightly, because this is such a strong color. I feel like it goes far. And then we have light yellow glaze 104. So we extend a bit more, but we're still going to leave those light bits. In fact, I might not use the cream. Let's activate that and see how it looks. Oh, I think that looks good. It looks kind of antique-y, doesn't it? Okay. And then make sure to keep our light bits. We don't really want to lose them. There we go. I think that we've got that golden look all tied in. And now I think it's looking a little heavy. We'll finish our leaves and then we'll do the flowers, and the flowers will really lift it and add happy colour to the whole piece. So going in with dark cobalt green 158. I'll do the same here. And actually, we might make these more minty. So then we'll go with dark phthalo green 264. And light phthalo green 162. All right, and we'll activate it. So I'm going to try and keep the light parts, especially on the edge. Might need a bit more water on my brush. So I really would like to know actually what is everyone's favourite Johanna book. I tend to wonder if it's the one I'm currently working in. Whether it be, I don't know. I did see my first Johanna book that I got was World of Wonders. And I love that book. And then I did get Secret Garden and Enchanted Forest. So they're right at the beginning of my colouring journey. I probably coloured in World of Wonders the most, though some of that stuff, it's super early. Super early. I think my style has changed a lot then. I used to try and draw all stuff around it and everything. When now I'm much more happy to appreciate all the work the illustrators have put in. So this is light green, Faber Castell Albrecht. But I think Johanna came out with that book around then. Is it Inky Wonders, where you draw yourself, learn to draw yourself? So I was ready all to put that in her books, and I did. But look, her illustrations are so fantastic. Nowadays, I'm just happy with them. Okay, and is that all our leaves? I think it is. Oh well, if we come across leaves that aren't done, we'll add to them, won't we? So now we get to do flowers, and we're going to start with these lovely, well, bluebells, my daughter would say, because her middle name is Bluebell and she just adores them. And we're going to use some of these colours, probably way too many for such a small flower, but anyway, they're pretty. We got Blue Violet 137, Ultramarine. Oh, actually, maybe I'll put this one first. Cobalt Blue 143, Ultramarine 120, Sky Blue 146, and the Cream 102. So we'll start with the darkest, which is the Blue Violet 137. And just put that in the edge. So they can be blue, they can be blue. They're a good distance apart. I think I'll probably do these like pinky yellow. Yellow. I'll make these blue too. Or maybe blue, yellow, pink would look nice. We'll come back to yellow, blue, pink. I always think hollyhocks is like pink, don't I? But they could be blue. There's no laws. Maybe I'll make these blue too. So they do look like little daisies, but you can get little blue daisies, can't you? Okay, so next I'm adding my Cobalt Blue, 142. I'm just putting it over where I put my purple. Such a pretty color. I love this gradient. One of my favorites. Okay, Next, we're going to do Ultramarine 120. Just take it out a little more. And then Sky Blue 146. Maybe we'll use this gradient for our background and go from the darkest purple out to the light blue. That could look really nice, especially with the stars. We might draw around the stars, little circles in cream, so they still stand out. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Okay, now cream 102. I'm just going to put it on the edges. Okay, so now we're going to start with the light. Back into the lovely dark. Wipe off the pigment in between. All right, I am feeling like, I don't know why, the Ultramarine 120, I want a bit of it on my mushrooms. Just the edges. I just feel like, yeah, look how beautiful that color combination is. I don't think I'll even activate it. I'll just leave it. I just needed a bit of a lift. And like the more areas you have a color, the more it's going to tie in. I think that looks good. Maybe I'll just add a tiny bit to the shadow of the door. Some of those bluey tones in there. I think I've water activated the door as much as I am, so it doesn't matter if I use like a little bit of Albrecht on it. We'll find out, won't we? Here we go. It just gives the wood that kind of depth. There we go. Love that, and I think that ties in the blue as well. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, I'm thinking we do the background of the sky, just the little one we're going to do, and then we'll do the flowers. So if I get blue on them, I can cover it up. So we're going to stick with that gradient we had before. So I'm going to put a blue violet 137, the closest. This is bold. I've just gone for it. Hopefully it works. So that will be the deepest. I'm going to be careful so that page ends there, so I will have a line. Maybe we'll do a bit of a gradient. There we go, and here. Now with the stars, I just forgot that then, didn't I? All right, we're going to use our rubber. Just go around the star. There you go. I might just get our cream and draw circles around them. because I will want them to stand out. And you know, the great thing about water-soluble pencil is if I decide I don't want them to stand out, I can just dissolve it, can't I? And it will disappear. Okay, that's just give me a reminder so I don't colour over them like I did there. Okay, so I am going to need a little bit more purple. Just in all these like little corners. Great, I think that's that colour. Next we're going to go for the Cobalt Blue 143. And we will overlap this. Sorry, just thinking about how far I need to put the blues. I'll say, oh, I missed leaves there. How did I do that? I really thought I got them all. It's quite funny, isn't it? It's going to be so beautiful, I think, when we activate it. I love these colours. Okay, then let's put the next colour in. So this is Ultramarine 120. So we're going to take that up. Sorry, I think I'll have to let my dog out in a sec. This is going to be interesting when I activate it because I really will want to start with the light and push towards the dark. So it usually is one where I definitely would turn the page over. Anyway, I'm just going to check the camera. There we go. Yep, just checking I've got it all in focus. There's no point me trying to show you if I don't have the camera there. Okay, so that's all that. And next we're going to go with the lightest, and that is Sky Blue 146. Sorry, just moving some of my pencils. Here we go. Now it's kind of like, how high do I have to go? Hard to tell. That's so high, and I don't want to go like that. Look a bit silly, I think. But anyway, we're going to try that. We can always add more if we want. Let's see how activating it goes. And then we'll do our flowers. And look at our picture. I think it's really coming to life. Okay, I might start up here. Oh, with a wet brush. I did think about going to a thicker water brush, but I'm not going to, because look at all the nooks and crannies I'm going to have to get into. Oh, look at that. Oh, there's a hair there. Got it. Good. They're really pushing towards those darks. I'm really concentrating now. There we go. There we go. I think that looks quite nice. I am going to go around and just soften those circles we put in. Okay, and keep pushing that pigment in. And so really the important thing when doing this is to kind of make sure you just don't leave any sharp lines. You're not, and it's hard because you're tackling a lot of pigment, but you just don't want to leave it like, see, like that, and then leave that there and have that dry. It's not going to look nice. So I guess you need to kind of be quick enough, or leave it in a spot where you don't mind if there's an edge. And I think I like the way it's looking. It's soft. I mean, we can always go over it again to make it stronger. But then at the same time, for a book that I'm not planning on doing like strong backgrounds for, I think it was the perfect. Oh, yeah, I didn't wipe off my pigment. That's why you should wipe off your pigment. I think it was a good solution. Because it adds to the picture, it gives it something. Ugh, I might get another water brush. I feel like this one I'm having trouble getting the water out of. Let's see if this one's going. And you know what? I have had that water brush for a long time. So, you know, maybe it's done. That's okay. It's probably been overused. There we go. Yeah, you see this one, the water's really coming down. Maybe too much. And this is where it's really important that all those little strokes dissolve, because the background is where you'll really notice them. Okay. Okay, I'm just overlapping the ground and the sky slightly, so it's that little bit darker where it hits. I just like that look. I think it looks good. Okay, so we're done this side. Good and bad, a bit blotchy here, but I think that's where I change pens. But, you know, I think it's all going to look good in the end. Let's just keep going the other side. I'm just going to let my dog out when I get to a point where I can stop. Here you go, just one sec. Just after I said that he wasn't barky. Okay, so you can really see what side I've done, what side I haven't. Let's keep going. And I feel like I will be using quite a bit of gel pen on the edge of these flowers to disguise where they where I went over, but that's okay. I know a lot of people use masking fluid. I can't imagine using masking fluid on a page like this with so many tiny fiddly bits. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it to me. And also, it's like you're painting it twice. And then you've got to rub it off. Yeah, no. I prefer to do this, and then I just cover up bits if I go over. Kind of mistakes I make. There, I kind of got that straight. I want that straight too, I think. And then it bobbles along. I'm happy with that. Just so they're that little bit matching and fit in. One side doesn't look strange. Okay. Here. How are we going? I think we're good. So yeah, look, I think that's not bad. I don't know if I'll go over it again. I'm going to do the flowers and see how it looks. I think it's subtle. I think it does add a nice amount of background without taking away from the picture. And I will do the stars and they will be the highlight. So we will see. Let's have some fun and do some flowers. So for my flowers, what are we going to use? We might do some pretty pink ones. Okay, so I want to do the ones on the door kind of pinky, yellowy orange, and I'm going to go in with the centers will be the magenta, so quite dark. And I wouldn't worry too much about doing them too dark, like having them too uniform, because you can just go in add a little bit of gel pen at the end, like a little bit of reflective light, and that will lighten them. So that's for the centers. And then I'm going to go in with my light purple pink 128. And I am going to do all these ones the same. go. And then around the edges. Maybe we use that light yellow. That'll be pretty. Light yellow glaze, 104. So I'm just going to put these at the edge. Add a bit of warmth to the flower. And also help it stand out from the door, because it's very much a pinky wood, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to activate it. We'll see how it looks, and then if I think it needs it, we'll add the Tombow that I spoke about before. Yeah, I think I will need the Tombow. I think it's just a bit, it's not bad. I think I just like it a little bit brighter. See, I'm kind of activating the pink and the yellow separately. So the pink first and then blending them into each other. Because if you mix the pink and the yellow, it'll just turn orange. And I did that a little bit there. Those centers. Okay, and last but not least, there we go. So they are pretty, but I just want them to be a little bit, to jump out a little bit more, because the flowers really, I feel like, are the focus. So I've got my Caran d'Ache palette here, or as I said, you can just use like any bit of plastic really. And I've got my Tombow 725. So this is the nice smooth side, and we're just going to scribble some on. Oh, look at that glorious bright pigment. Now the thing is, we don't want too much. That's the trick. So we're actually going to take some of it, just put it over here. I'm going to add water. And then we're going to add it and wipe it off and add water if we need to. So we'll just start with the one here. Look at that. So I paint it round, I wipe it off, and then I blend it in. And see how it just gets it brighter, like makes it more vibrant. So we'll pick up some more. Maybe a bit brighter than that. Ooh. Sorry, right. So paint it round, wipe it off, blend it in to soften it. Just so it stands out. And like, if you don't have the Tombow, you could use hot pink pencil, you could use watercolor. There's Opera Rose, I think it's called. I know Winsor and Newton have one that's lovely and bright. Although there's other, I think Paul Rubin have a neon set as well of bright watercolors where they have a lovely hot pink. Like, yes, it's all different. But you'll be surprised how many water-based marker sets have a bright pink. I mean, Crayola does, Hoo does, like, yeah. And I just feel now the flowers really pop from the door. I love how they look. So yes, I do think a little bit of Tombow goes a long way. I know they're definitely the most expensive of the water-based markers, but you can buy them open stock and just get that one. And yeah, that's the color I'd get, 725, because look at the pop that it adds. I just love it. I just love it. When I feel like before we would have had trouble getting those to stand out. And because the pink stands out now, you also can notice the yellow edging because it's so different from what it was. Okay, so as well as that, what should we do next? Maybe we'll do these flowers because they will be yellow. So we've got the dark Cadium yellow 108, the light glaze 104, and the cream 102. So just checking I haven't pushed the book up too far. Okay, I was just checking the camera was at the right spot of the book because I don't want you to miss it. And then it was also telling me the camera, it's got 10% battery left. So we'll see how we go. We have to finish this tomorrow. That's okay. We really, I'm just so pleased with how much we've got done today. And then actually while we're here, we might decorate our stars. So using that light yellow glaze 104, we're going to colour them in. Now I will be going over these with a white gel pen, but I just think it's nice. Now I'm colouring in the star and then you kind of leave the white around it and then there'll be the cream circle. I think it will just give it a really nice halo in the sky. And once we use gel pen to make our stars white, I think it will look so nice. Okay, that's all that. I'm going to do the centre, oh, another one down there. Centre of those flowers, yellow as well. What else did I forget to add that yellow to there? I'm not sure now. Do I make those flowers yellow or blue? Maybe I'll go the yellow because it's nice and bright. Or maybe I'll just do the yellow centers and do them blue. Yes, I think that's the answer. I love blue flowers. I feel like you can't have too much blue. And actually, that dark cadmium yellow 108, I am going to just add a little bit to this mushroom, just dry. Yeah, I feel like that lifts it a bit. I am then going to go in with my light yellow glaze 104 and just add like yellow tints to leaves and flowers. Oh, look at that. It's all kind of tying in now and coming alive. So we can see that starlight just bouncing off the leaves. I love that. Maybe a little bit at the top of the mushrooms. I am just going to leave the dots on the mushrooms white, so I'm not worried about that. That can be yellow. And look how cohesive our picture is becoming because we're using our colours, the same colours in all different places. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of yellow on the edges of the mat. Okay, now let's activate these flowers. Just going from the light to the dark. Really like that. Okay, let's do those blue flowers we were talking about because I can't go past blue. Okay, so this is Blue Violet 137. So we'll pop that in the center. And I feel like these will be like clematis flowers. I love clematis. You don't see many of them here. There are a few in the mountains. Mostly grow where it's cooler and more moist. But when they come out in spring, just stunning. And then we'll go into the Cobalt Blue 143. And I know Johanna said that most of her flowers are just, well, I guess for fun, aren't they? They're not directly, specifically certain flowers. But yes, I definitely think she took inspiration for these ones from clematis, especially because she's got them on a vine. And I mean, I guess clematis do come in so many different beautiful colours as well. So we have Ultramarine 120. So I guess, sorry, I'm jumping back to a blue palette. I do tend to jump around when I colour. That's just me. Sky Blue 146. I mean, a colouring page is a bit like a puzzle, really. You're just trying to unlock the combination that makes you happy, but sometimes you only know what you want one thing to be. But then when you colour that, then you know what something else should be, and so it spurs you on. Okay. Haven't done the edges. I will probably go in with cream or yellow. I was a bit worried about having blue flowers against the blue sky, but I think because they're darker, oh, got yellow there, just get rid of that. It's okay, they stand out enough. Okay, so I think they look lovely. I think once we add a bit of yellow to the edge of the petals, they will sing. Let's do a bit more pink. So we will be using a mix of our pencil, our Albrecht Durers, and I think a little bit of Tombow. So let's make these ones pink. This is the light magenta 119. These ones pink, since they look like the same type. Oh, and the hollyhocks, they have to be pink too. Really messy colouring, but that's okay. So just in the centres of them, really, and then you keep it light on the way out. And then what should they be? Are they the last thing we have to colour? No, the vine that I missed. Okay, I think we'll make them yellow. So we'll go for our light yellow yellow glaze 104. All right. Let's activate them, see what we think. Activating the pink, but no, they definitely need kind of a bigger pop. Although they are pretty, I think they need like the tiniest bit. So I've got a little bit of Tombow. I'm just going to add them to the centers. Yeah, I think that's it. And then maybe wipe the pigment off and just blend them in a little bit. And same with these. Just that tiniest bit of that Tombow. Activate it off and blend it in. No, I think I need a little bit more for these. There you go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. All right, same for the hollyhocks. We haven't even activated them yet. But anyway. So the hollyhocks, ooh. They each top petal would cast a little shadow, wouldn't it? On the one below it. It's going to be bright, but I'm hoping we can blend it in. We will find out. There we go. So wipe it off and then do a little circle. Yeah, that should blend in nicely. A little bit on top. There we go. Look at that. That looks great. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm just taking a little bit of that Tombow. A tiny bit underneath. Wipe the pigment off. And blend it in. There we go. All right, so we've just got that vine and then we have coloured every part of this page. And then we'll see what else we'll do. So this is Permanent Green Olive 167. feel like this vine needs to be a bit darker. It needs to stand out from the hill that it's on. So we'll leave light bits in the middle. Let's activate it. There we go. Oh, I love that. It looks amazing. Okay, so I think I am going to add centers to these little flowers. I don't think I'll even activate them. This is just that light pink magenta, light magenta 119. And then we have colored everything. So now I'm going to go in with the light yellow glaze 104 and just anything I feel would have a bit of starlight on it. I'm just going to add that yellow. I'm not even going to activate it. Isn't it funny? After all this, I don't think I'm going to get out another polychromo. I think I've used one. That was enough. So we're going to put a bit of yellow there, a bit of yellow there, a bit of yellow on those mushrooms. We've done that. Done that, the vine. Add a bit of yellow too, so we get that two-tone, and the flowers. Oh, look at that. And then this is going to be really bold for me, but I think it's done. I don't think I'm going to add light gel pen. I think it looks lovely how it is. Oh my gosh, there's a leaf I missed there. How did I miss that? So I'm just going in with light green 171. Adding a little bit of yellow to the tip, and then I'll just quickly activate that. So if I was going to add gel pen, I'd do all the stars, I would do the tips of the leaves, I would do the bluebells, I would do the flowers. But I don't know, something about it. Oh, I missed those pink centers too. So that is the light magenta 119 again. Something about it I really like. I think it looks really good. I think it looks a bit watercolory, which I guess using watercolor pencil, I'm not surprised. So I am going to leave it there. And I think a really good kind of measurement of that is, I mean, I could go to town with gel pen everywhere, but A, I'm happy with it how it is. And B, saying that, I go to add a bit more yellow, that light yellow. Would I be happy with the book if every page was colored in like this? And the answer is yes. Yes, I would be. I think it looks really good. I mean, yes, the illustration is there, but it's not like I am doing, for example, a Kirby book, a Roseanne Kirby book, and trying to make it super realistic. In fact, yeah, I think it's the way it is. The only thing I might add the little bit of white gel pen is see where I just went over the edge of those, here we go, edge of those flowers. So just so it's not blue. There we go. So I'm not even covering the lines. It's just anywhere that I went over the line with the blue into the yellow, just so it's a pure yellow. And yeah, I think that's good. I mean, obviously you can go add more gel pen to your heart's content, and you could go over the lines. I just feel I'm happy with it. I really like it, and it doesn't need it. So yeah, that is it from me today. I am going to leave it alone. Thank you so much, everyone, for colouring with me. Let me know if you're going to do this picture, and if so, what you're going to do it in. Oh, see, I've got another little speck of blue there. There we go. It's like an eraser, isn't it, the white gel pen? Yes, what you're going to colour it in. If you do it the same as me or not, I would love to know. But I'm really excited. Thank you for being with me while I colour. I feel like this is the first proper page of this Johanna Basford book. Hopefully I can do more because I really enjoyed using the Albert Durers. Let me know if there's another medium or pencil or watercolor pencil you'd like to see. All right, well, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and enjoy your coloring. Happy coloring. Bye.